What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday. Sean here with the Hound. Hope everyone's doing well. To kind of kick things off for the weekend, I wanted to take some time to talk about some of the kind of like the breaking type of news regarding the sales of some duplicate star notes. A topic that I haven't personally talked about in a little bit. I figure because of some high-profile sales, and we have actually quite a few of them here just in the last 60 days, I figure we just do one compilation video to kind of make some sort of meaning as to what's going on here currently, and to help showcase the pursuit for the what I call perfect pair. So duplicate star notes can be found only on 2013 B star note $1 bills. For those of you that aren't aware of what these are, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, also known as the BEP, who produces our nation's paper currency, they actually screwed up, and they ran a certain serial number range within the 2013 B star notes twice. They ran them once before at the Washington, D.C. facility back in 2013, and then about 3.5 years later, they ran the same set of serial numbers bearing the same series date, 2013, but they produced those at the Fort Worth facility. That's not supposed to happen, and that's kind of the big reason why that these things are intriguing. They're highly collectible. These are undoubtedly star notes today that you can find that are worth a lot more than, say, face value $2, $3, because a lot of the more common higher print run star notes are generally only worth a few dollars. But these, ladies and gentlemen, if you were able to find one of these, will automatically turn $1 bill into possibly $20 to $30 per for each one that you find. And even today, these things are being found out in circulation. More people are finding, of course, the Fort Worth printed notes because that's the most recent. The Washington, D.C. notes are today 10 years old. All right. So some of you may not be aware, but paper money generally doesn't have that kind of, I guess, circulation time. They're generally only good for about 4 years on average before they have to be sent off for destruction. So I'm sure a fair amount of the Washington, D.C. notes have gone away just through general attrition. And that's why that this particular segment within the paper money hobby has been white hot because of that. So I wanted to take some time to share with you some of the more relevant sales, again, within the last, I'd say, 60 days. They're all quite large. We're going to start it off with this one here on a 2013 B uncirculated duplicate star note. This is a lot of 10, and they are all consecutive serial numbered. So when you look at these guys, and before you even decide of whether or not it's a duplicate star, you have to run them through My Currency Collection database. Because there's only certain serial number ranges within the B Series 2013s that actually qualify as being duplicate stars. All right, not all of them are, so you got to make sure that you run at least one of them through. So I took the liberty of pulling it up already. I'll show it to you here momentarily. But I took the first note here of the run of 10 that was sold for $1,000, and we'll talk a little bit about the price and whether or not that's a fair market for it. And I went ahead and typed in the serial number that ends in 7311, and this is what it comes out. So here's your serial number, the first one in that lot of 10, and when you hit the enter button, okay, this is going to pop up. How to determine print facility. So the notes that were produced in Fort Worth, Texas, will have an FW next to the plate number or as part of the plate number, whereas the Washington, D.C. printed notes will have nothing designated. You know, they're not going to put DC or W or whatever the case may be. So they only designated the Fort Worth notes on these. So you have to decide which one you have. And when you do that, in this case, we have a Fort Worth. And then go ahead and look up your star note. And then it gives you the general information. Like 3.2 million is a very large run size for this. And that's good news because there's still plenty of hunting to do with these notes. Probably 20-25% of the 2013 B Fort Worth notes probably have been discovered at this point, which then, you know, you realize there's still a ton out there to look for. And people are constantly going to the bank. They're picking up dollar bill straps and bundles and bricks. They're taking them home, searching through them. They're pulling out every single star note. It doesn't matter if it's a 2013 B series or anything else. But this is definitely a quite the gravy train, and they're not at all rare by print run standards. 3.2 million is very high for star notes, and generally, if we're not talking about these boo-boo duplicate star notes, if there were any other star note with a 3.2 run size on a dollar bill, they'd be worth about $2 to $3. And again, grade certainly plays a huge role in that. So this one right here, I mean, these are all uncirculated notes. It looks like they came in order in a strap. It's unfortunate that this person that sold this didn't have the full strap, because that would be a very ungodly find. But I do know of one person, a friend of the channel, and the friend of the Live Coin Q&A YouTube channel as well. We know that this person has a full 100 count BEP bag strap of duplicate star notes. This particular lot right here sold for $1,000, so that's $100 per note. The bank strap that this individual owns, that we know, probably has I mean, you know, if you were doing the math, you would think, oh, $10,000 is what that strap would be worth. It's probably worth more than that, because you have 100 consecutive gem unks in there, and because it's consecutive 100 pack, then there's that additional premium that's associated with that. So $1,000 for this run of 10 consecutives. Here's another one right here. This is for a lot of 25. And again, this gives you a little bit of insight as to how much these things can be worth. So a lot of 25, and these are all very well circulated notes. And I don't know if we can get in close. Yeah, the pictures are not very good on that main one there. There's the reverse images. Here's a few close-ups. And when you look at these, all you have to do, you have to type each one in just to make sure. But we have a Fort Worth, a DC, 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 Fort Worth, DC, Fort Worth. So just in that top 9 notes, there's a lot of Washington, DC notes. This is going to be extremely desirable for someone that's more, you know, looking to leverage a collection of these, so that way they have a better chance of finding the match. Because where the big money lies here is finding the same serial number for both the Fort Worth and the DC prints. You made them together. Generally, you want to get them graded by PMG or PCGS banknote, because they'll designate it as a duplicate star. And you know, as long as you have both notes, that's where these things really begin to get just madcap crazy. All right, so again, that's part of the allure with collecting into these. And you know, this particular lot right here of 25 sold for $1,000, which puts them effectively at $40 per note. I think a lot of the leveraged part of the sale has a lot to do with the good-looking Washington, D.C. notes that are in this lot, which are, again, considerably more scarce to find, again, through the attrition and the circulation of these notes. Those a lot of them have disappeared over the years, you know, as they're being used and abused. So that's an outstanding sale at $1,000. Again, these are all sales within the last 60 days or so. Here's a tremendous run right here of 50 2013 duplicate series. And apparently, they're all New York. Or actually, they are New York because they're B. They're B districts. Duh. Anyways, this set of 50 ended up selling for $2,500. So you can just see, based off of that data alone, that these notes are very, very coveted. And generally, you would look at bulk lots as something that the seller is willing to accept a lower value on because you're selling more of it. It's like, if you buy 10 of something, it's going to be cheaper than buying just one unit of that. Like going to the store. It's always better to buy in bulk because your per piece item would be cheaper. That's not necessarily the case when it comes to duplicate star notes. These things, what's 2,500 divided by 50? Actually, let me grab my calculator because my math brain isn't working too well. I have a feeling it's what? Is it 50? Probably 50, right? Yeah, $50 a note, which is pretty damn good. So 2,500 divided by 50, yeah, $50. So the per piece price jumped up even more with this slot, but it also helps that the person selling it did throw it up as a buy it now, as in that's what it is. If you want it, go ahead and hit the buy it now, add it to your cart, check out, and then now you have 50 of these duplicate star notes, and it enhances your position a great deal more because you bought up this large lot of them. The next one that we have here now, this is where things begin to get very interesting. We have a number of realized sales of paired up matches for the duplicate stars. So we have this first set right here. As you can tell, both serial numbers exact same. We have a New York or a Washington D.C. and a Fort Worth, Texas pairing, as you can see. And on this one, it's kind of strange because it's not denoted on the actual graded label. Nope. So, maybe these were graded independently and wasn't submitted as such as being duplicate stars. But you can see the grade. One's very 525. The other one is a very fine 30 EPQ, which is exceptional paper quality. And that's how PMG denotes just really strong, crispy paper, even on circulated notes. So this one right here, April 19th, sale for $4,900. There were two bids here. And I might be under the impression, once we get in through looking at every single sale, that it might be the same buyer that has picked up a number of these. Here's another one right here. Our good old infamous East Side Mint coins. This guy has had a little bit of not so flattering history selling this, and apparently they went ahead and just did a regular auction on this, and it ended up selling for $5,138. I hope it's a legit sale this time around. Three bids on this one. However, you do have an exceptional example that graded a 65 gem through PMG, and this one right here, what makes this one very attractive is the fact that they used one of their double holder presentations, and that's just really neat. So the Fort Worth note has a written number 3 in there, which is a little bit distracting. It says annotation, which is a type of damage in a way, a net details grade. But you can see on this one, they actually added in the production error. Serial number issued in Fort Worth and DC to denote the duplicate nature of this anomaly. But also adds in the Ziegler's Winograd project, which is the project that spearheaded this duplicate star note data gathering, and it's exceptional. This is a very nice 2-note pairing. $5,100 for that one. Let's see if it sticks. Here's another one right here. Someone that put it up for $5,500. Someone did put a bid in on it. And we have two very fine graded notes, a 25 EPQ and a 30 EPQ. Very nice pair right here, $5,500, and this was on May 17th, so relatively recent within the last few weeks. And finally, we have this gauntlet right here, another one, this time graded by PCGS Banknote. One is a very fine 20, and another one is a 65 PPQ. All right, and then they do put in note 1 of a duplicate serial number pair, and then this is note number 2. So they actually denote number 1, number 2. Number 2, I would guess, is the... that's strange. You'd figure note 1 would be the DC print, because that was the first one that was produced back in 2013, but they actually did it kind of backwards. So they did the Fort Worth as note number 1, and note number 2 would be the DC. But you can see the grades there. Very nice Fort Worth print right here in the 65 PPQ, which pushed that sale all the way up to $6,600 here for 13 bids. So you can see the high stakes involved here when it comes to these notes. If you have a pairing, man, enjoy the money. I mean, that's pretty big. They seem to fall somewhere in that $5,000 to $6,000 range, especially if you have 2 circulated notes. They might even fall a little bit less than that, but not too bad, right? Notes that you can find in circulation can be worth quite a bit of money. If individually, you could sell them for between 30, 40, 50 bucks. And the pairing can be thousands of dollars. I mean, there's a big reason why this has been a fever pitch type of activity that's going on today in strap hunting, aside from fancy serial numbers. So as a kind of like side thing, there's a few notable errors I want to talk about. Now, this one sold for $10,800, but it's been relisted. This is what they call an inkwell contamination note. It's on a 2017A. And what had happened here, ladies and gentlemen, was if you notice these serial numbers, one is a little bit darker than the other. A little bit of the black ink had leached into the green inkwell that produces the print for that bottom left serial numbers. And as far as I know, the inkwell contamination has only affected the bottom left serial number string and not the top right. Because if it did, you'd also have a discrepancy in the color of the ink on the green district seal as well, because I believe they share the same ink fountain or inkwell. So you can see the difference. This is just almost black right here in print, the serial number, and this one's the full green. So this one is a PCGS banknote 40 PPQ. It does say ink fountain contamination error. These things have, again, a little bit more attention paid on them ever since a few videos have been put out and leaked, and some more information from the news world that these are indeed a thing. So, not a confirmed sale because now it's relisted at $10,800, but it's always good to see one that's actually graded by someone else other than PMG this time around, and that is a pretty looking note. Generally, I would put a value on these of around $1,000 or less, based off of some other previous sales. They haven't quite caught up to the market yet, to where a lot of people know about them and or are bought in to these. So something to keep in mind, but always know that these do exist. If you do come across them, and these are on much newer notes, again, this could be an LEPE type of error because it affects the overprint. Again, the BEP is having a myriad of issues with this integration of the new LEPE press that's producing the overprint, from mismatches to things like this, to inkwell contamination. So, and it's crazy right now just how badly they're printing the overprint on a lot of these newer notes. So, the next one that we have here, I talked about this one in a YouTube short, but this is, again, another newish note, 2017A $20 bill with mismatched suffix letters. So you have a D on one of the serial numbers and then an F to cap off the other set of serial number there. Very, very cool note on a brand new 20, mismatch block error. is what it shows here. And very nice high grade note. This one right here, best offer was $1,750. So that's what that one had sold for. And then finally, we also have this one. It's a $1988 bill, so a little bit older, but this is a double face print error. Yeah, you can see that the face print was actually double printed, and it's a little bit offset. So yeah, it's like the 1955 Lincoln Cent doubled die of the paper money world. If you wanted to kind of throw that comparison in there, this thing is majorly weird. It makes my eyes hurt just looking at it, but really cool. Let's see how much this one sold for. We'll throw up a little bit of the 130 point. I'll go ahead and copy and paste this here. So 130 point is what I use to pick up best offer sales. Pretty easy to use. So this one, $1,400 was the sale price on the double face print rather note here. So that's pretty nice, strong amount of money. Again, it's a VF 35 by grading standards. And yeah, those are a few of the things I wanted to bring up. But yeah, the duplicate star note market is white hot right now, as you can see. That's I'm not going to say it's all the rage. It's part of the rage for sure. So you guys go out there, look out for some of these because they're out there. It's free, easy money to make. Worth way more than a dollar bill. And again, I'm telling you guys, just look at $1 bills, and then you should be good to go. Because that's where a lot of the big errors are being found these days, in addition to the fact that you're going to make more profit by finding an error or a fancy serial number on a dollar bill than you would a larger denomination. So unless it's like one of those mismatched serial numbers like on that $20 bill, and there's been a number of them being found on $2 bills and fives. So yeah, a lot to look out for today as they continue their funny integration with this new LEPE press that they're still trying to work out all the kinks. And it's a good time to be part of the hobby when you're looking out for stuff like this, because it's incredible just how badly some of these are coming out. So that's it, guys. You guys have a wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with a PCMR tomorrow morning on Saturday to kick off your weekend. I've got my Whatnot coin auction tonight, so June 2nd, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come check things out. We have some rare new offerings that I have never seen on Whatnot, and there's none on eBay either. So, and everything starts at $1. We're going to be doing it upright like we always do. So you guys take care. Happy hunting, and I'm your host, Sean. I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys.